Hello, everyone. My name is Sydney Battle, and this is my senior project. What's love got to do with it? Using Studio One to create a hit song. I come from a very musical family, from having my grandparents be musicians and the same thing for my parents. And so music was always in my life. And from a young age, I wanted to be an entertainer, and I expressed that through learning how to dance and also practicing different instruments. Even though I knew I wanted to be an entertainer, I didn't know that I wanted to produce my own music until I became a fan of Jaden Smith and his Misfits rep crew. Their music inspired me to want to create my own, and so I reached out to my dad to teach me all about music production so I can create my own songs too. When I realized that I wanted to produce music for a career, I originally decided to go to the Art Institute of Washington. I found out about that school when a man came to talk to my high school class about it at the time. What I loved about the program was that it was very centered on my major, music and audio engineering. I didn't have to worry about taking too many side classes that had nothing to do with my major. Also, I love how it was very hands-on with our learning in all of our classes. What made me transfer to Bowie State was because, sadly, my branch of the Art Institute closed down. But I picked Bowie State because my dad had recently graduated from their music technology program, and he told me a bunch of great things about it. So after looking up and doing my own research, I found out, yeah, this will be a dope place to learn how to produce music too. And so that's why I chose to go to Bowie State in 2019. And while I was there, I fell in love with a girl who lived in my dorm, which led to me creating the song Girl from Colorado. Even though both schools teach us how to use Pro Tools and it is taught that Pro Tools is industry standards, I still mainly use Studio One because for now I create a lot of my songs in MIDI, using the different instruments and sounds inside of the different music programs. And I prefer Studio One sounds compared to Pro Tools. But later on in the future, when I start to do more live recordings to create my music, I will most likely lean to using Pro Tools more. When it came to creating my song Girl from Colorado, after I figured out the melody, next I need to figure out how I wanted the song to sound and how I wanted it to feel. After I figured that out, I was able to pick out the different instruments and the way that they sound. So these next few slides will be me explaining just that, how I was able to use these different instruments to bring across the vibe of a beautiful love song being played at a beach at sunset. Studio One has different instruments we can use that all have a lot of different sounds on them. Normally when I'm looking for a nice pad sound to play my chords on, I click the presence instruments, which I already have loaded up. And then what I do is I'll go to down to sim session and then I click on pads. And so first I start off with this chord me pad. And I was like, okay, that has a nice interesting sound, but still not exactly what I'm looking for. So then I tried the clean pad, which sounds like this. And I'm like, okay, so it's not exactly what I want, but we're getting closer. And then last, I tried the bounder pad, which sounds like this. And I was like, now that's the pad that I want because that pad feels and sounds like sun rays falling right on our body at the sunset. And so that's how I picked the pad that I wanted. So once again, I'm turning to the Presence instrument to try to find a guitar sound to match the chords that I played. First, I go to my instruments and I load up the nylon guitar full, and it sounds like this. And I thought, that's okay, but it's still not, 100% what I'm looking for. So I go to Les Paul full guitar, and it sounds like this. And I'm like, oh, okay, we're getting there. But I decided to go up to Artist Instruments and see what they have. Click guitar, and I decided to try full Strat, which sounds like this. And I was in love. It was the perfect guitar sound, the perfect, bright, beautiful guitar sound that I wanted for this track. And that's how I picked the first guitar sound I needed for Girl from Colorado. Since I knew I wanted the song to be a pop rock song, I knew that I wanted to use a rock drum kit. So I go over here to Instruments, scroll down to PreSonus, and I click on Impact. Impact is Studio One's own drum kit. And the cool thing about Impact is that it has many different drum settings. But here I already have the Rumi rock kit loaded up because that's exactly what I wanted to use, and it sounds like this. I already loved how it sounded, and everything else just sounded a little bit different from the rock kit vibe that I wanted, and that's how I decided to use this drum setting for my song Girl from Colorado. Studio One is great and has many great sounds, but for me to really take this song to the next level, I had to look to outside help and use downloaded plugins to bring the song to a new level. Once again, I'm using our Presence instrument to look for the piano sound that I want. Open the instrument, scroll down to piano, and first I open up acoustic piano full, which sounds like this. And I was like, yeah, it's a no for me. Not what I'm looking for. I decided to test out what this acoustic ballad sound like. Maybe it'll sound a little bit better. And it sounds like this. And I did like it a little bit more, but it still wasn't exactly what I was looking for. And so that's when I go to outside help and I go to my instruments and I use a downloaded plugin called Trap Boom. And on Trap Boom, we have many different sounds that Studio One doesn't have. And so the first sound that pops up is piano trap grand. Let's hear it. And I was like, that wasn't exactly what I was looking for either. That sounds a little bit too grand, maybe a little gothic, just wasn't it. But luckily they had more sounds. And so then I tried Trippy Keys. What does Trippy Keys sound like? Load it up. And here we go. And right there, I fell in love. Like you, once again, I'm getting the sun rays, the bright vibe that I am looking for the song. And that's how I figured out what piano sound to play the melody on. Once again, I turn to Presence to find a trumpet sound. Open the instrument up, scroll down to trumpet, click on trumpet full, and it sounds like this. And it didn't sound too bad, but I wanted something to sound more grand. So I go over to my instruments, scroll down, and I click on Anthem Brass, an outside plugin that gives me beautiful horn sounds. First thing that pops up is the Brass Legacy horns. And I'm like, okay, now we're talking. Now we're playing with the big boys. But it still wasn't exactly what I was looking for, so I decided to click on brass clean horns, which sounds like this. And I was like, yes, that right there is the clean, bright sound that I'm once again looking for my track. As y'all saw, Presence had some beautiful guitar sounds, but at the time I wasn't a guitar player and so I couldn't make the best of them. And what I really needed was a plugin that has beautiful, natural sounding guitars on it. So I go over here to my instruments and I clicked on Kontakt. And in Kontakt, I loaded up the plugin Electric Sunburst, which sounds beautifully amazing, like an actual person's playing the guitar. It is so easy to use. I loaded up the Guitar Sound Rock Show and got to playing this. And I was blown away, like, yes, this is exactly what I needed. And it's so simple. All I do is hold down each note and then it plays out the chords that's in the note. Very easy to use. But then for my bridge, I wanted a more warm, laid back guitar sound. And so going back to Sunburst, I load up the guitar preset Tequila Bar and sounds like this. And I was like, yes, 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 this is what I'm looking for. This is what the song needed. And that was the last missing ingredient to a beautiful song, Girl from Colorado 3.0. When I originally started to create music, I only saw myself being a music producer, only an instrumental artist. I didn't think that I had a pretty enough voice to sing over any of my tracks. And so, the original song of Girl from Colorado is just that, only an instrumental. But one day, my now good friend Benny saw a video of me singing lyrics to the song at the beach, and he begged and begged me to please put out a version that had the lyrics on them. And so, I did. You're my baby girl, and so I've got to let you know that I love you so and never wanna let you go. If you wanna go, then go ahead and flap your wings. And if it's meant to be, then you'll be flapping back to me. So, I have this friend who I was drawn to the first day we met. And the more I learned about her, the more beautiful that I found her. And so I created this song just to let her know how much I love the girl from Colorado. I ended up submitting the song to a music competition done by Music City Songstar, and the judges loved it, but they wanted me to critique lyrics, like making sure I'm not saying the same words back and forth, and they also wanted me to give more of the story, to tell more of the story of how the girl made me feel. And so I took their critiques and did just that. So, I have this friend who I was drawn to the first day we met. And the more I learned about her, the more beautiful that I found her. And so I created this song just to let her know how much I love the girl from Colorado. My number one goal with my music is to compose and produce for Cartoon Network and of course other animation companies as well, but I grew up loving Cartoon Network and I really want to work with one of the amazing writers there named Rebecca Sugar. Outside of that, I just want to be a well-known and respected music icon overall and to have my songs played all over in different films and animations, all over the radio. And so to do that, I'm going to take small steps by posting my stuff in different briefings and connecting with different music supervisors and just keep on hustling as I reach more and more people. Thank you guys so much for watching my presentation. You can get in contact with me by checking out my website sidindigo.com and leaving a message or by emailing me at my email sidtheindigokid@gmail.com. Thank you.